Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and if you're not new, welcome back. Today I'm super excited to make this spooky Halloween tree, and I first seen it on another YouTuber's channel. Her channel is called Where the Gnomes Live, and I did send her a note saying that if I wanted to recreate it, and I would be sure to give her channel a shout out so that you guys can go visit it as well. She makes the cutest little crafts, little gnomes and little pumpkin houses and so many cute things. But anyways, let's get started on this project. I am going to list the supplies you will need. So here's the supply list. You'll need glue, like all-purpose glue, paper towels, thin cheap ones are the best, masking tape, aluminum foil, acrylic paint, which the colors are black, burnt umber, cinnamon, and beige, some moss and foliage for decorating, and some paintbrushes. Okay, so we're going to start by taking 3 or 4 pieces of foil and put your hand in and start spinning it around your hand, kind of like cup it and squeeze in the middle, sort of like you're making a chalice or a wine glass, and then kind of push it down on the table so that we have a base. And at this point you could add some more foil to make the base stronger. So I just started ripping off a little bit more pieces and wrapping it around, and I do that throughout the whole process of making this. I just keep adding to it. And so here's one that I already have halfway done, and as you can see, the front, it has the face, of course, and then directly across from the face in the back is the little hole for the tea light. So first thing we're going to do is cut a hole for the tea light right there. And then if you find that you cut the hole too big, it's okay. You can just take some foil and roll it up and just, keep adding to it till you have the right size hole. Just keep adding a little bit more foil until you get it just right. And then when you get it to just the right size, you can take your strips of tape and start taping in the hole, little by little, till you go all the way around. And then at this point, I wanted the trunk to look a little fatter and meatier, so I just took a strip of foil and added it to the middle. You can do that throughout the whole process up until you get the tape on, till you get it just the way you want it. And now I'm getting ready to make the arms here. I'll just take a piece of foil, fold it over, roll it up on one end, and kind of fan it out on the other. And that flat fanned out part attaches to the body. That would be like the shoulder. So once you get on there with the way you want it, tape it on. At this point, I'm thinking that he looks too top heavy, so I'm going to add more foil to the base again. So here I feel like he needs a stronger shoulder. So I just take another piece of foil and some tape and just tape it on. So now I'm just taping up as much of the body as I can. The body, the shoulders, the arms, up until the hands, because we're getting set to work on the hands now. But first I'm going to take a little piece of foil and wrap it around the inside of the body, right where the tea light goes, just to reinforce the hole so that it feels a little stronger. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little strip of foil here and just build up his head a little bit so it's taller. At this point, I'm going to take some foil and fold it in half, squeeze one end and fan out the other, and tape that to his wrist so that I can create some fingers. Tape it on, and then I'll do that on the other side. So I'm cutting fingers here. The last one I made, I only made him 4 fingers, but this little guy, I'm going to make 5 fingers on each hand. I mean, you could do whatever you want. There's no set rule. So yeah, I'm going to give him 4 fingers and a thumb on each hand. Okay, so now I'm going to take little pieces of tape and then split them in half so they're small and put them between each finger on the hand so that it reinforces, well, it's easier to build up the fingers if there's a separation. So put one between each finger. The fingers were feeling a little flimsy, so I went ahead and took some more foil and to make them a little firmer. I wanted to build up his shoulder on this side as well. Give him a little muscle there. So this is the part where I took little pieces of foil. I just rolled them up in a ball and I taped him to the top of the hand so that he looked like he had knobby knuckles. And then I decided to give him some knobby elbows as well. Take a pen and draw any type of face that you want. And then after you cut out the eyes and mouth, you can get your knife in there or your fingers and just squeeze, because you know it's just foil in there. So you can change it up to look however you want it to look. So you can see on this one that I already have partly done that at the top there's like a little bowl, and that bowl is there in case you want a tea light on the top of your tree, or it could be a little candy dish or something, but you just can't make the bowl hang down so low that it covers your eye holes, because then you won't be able to see the flickering light from the tea light. So I'm just taking a piece of foil and pushing it inside the top of the tree and cupping it around to make a little cup. And then once I get the way I want it, I'm going to tape it on. But also the cup is also there to prevent the light from coming out the top. You won't see as much of the glow in the eyes if the light source is escaping through the top. And I like the way the top of the head is kind of dipped down there, like it looks like a cut in the bark. I like that because it gives it that imperfect look, just like a tree has. So I think that looks good. So at this point, I'm going to work on the face. I want to take a little piece of foil and tape it on above his eyes to give him a scowl, make him look scary and spooky. And here comes the messy part. So you take about a cup of glue and maybe like a half a cup of water and stir it. You'll be able to tell the type of consistency you want. You just want a real soupy glue, but not too watery. And then take your paper towels and start ripping off little pieces of all sizes. So I went and got a little Lazy Susan piece of foil to set them on because this gets really messy. So I'm just going to dip the strips into the glue and take your fingers and wipe off the excess, and then just start draping it over the tree. You'll see it starts looking like bark. It actually looks really cool, as you can see. When it dries, it gets really hard, and this technique just, I don't know, something with the paper towels and the glue, it just really makes it look like bark. It's really cool to see. I noticed that there was a lot more glue at the bottom of the bowl, so I had to add some water to give it the right consistency again. Make sure you always lay your strips in a vertical position. So then I took some of that wet paper towel and I gave him a little nose. You could do, you know, any kind of a nose, a big fat one, a long one. I just did a little tiny pointy one. Okay, so I'm going to put some black paint in a bowl and then add like a quarter cup of water. I don't know, it's just what you want to do is get your consistency to, well, you want it to be pretty watery. And the reason you want it pretty watery is because there's so many cracks and crevices and folds and stuff that, you know, the watery paint will get into all those cracks a lot easier. And if it was too thick, it would, you know, you'd miss a lot of spots. And now I'm going to paint over it with burnt umber. And now you're going to dry brush it with the color cinnamon. And now you're going to dry brush it with a fan brush with the color beige. The point of this part is to only hit the high points of the bark to highlight it. I went a little overboard with it, so, but you know, you could do whatever you want. You just get the look that you like. Okay, now I'm taking a little piece of yellow tissue paper and I'm putting it through the hole and pushing it up against, you know, the back of the face behind the eyes and mouth. And then take your pencil eraser and get in there and try to flatten it out as flat as you can get it, so that when you put the tea light in, it'll shine through the yellow tissue paper and you'll be able to see it flicker from the front of the face. At this point, you could take a tiny little paintbrush and get some solid black paint and then paint in all the deep crevices. It's supposed to add like a shadowing in there so that it gives it more dimension. So I had a bag of moss that I got from the craft store, and I took my hot glue gun and I just had fun putting moss here and there on the tree. You could do whatever you want. I also added some plastic flowers to the top of his head as well. So you could use the bowl at the top of your tree as a candy dish, or you could use it to put your tea light in. I prefer to put my tea light in mine. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this spooky tree. It was so much fun to do. You guys should try it yourself. I mean, no wires, no clay, just the tin foil and tape. I mean, it's pretty easy. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already done so. Until next time, bye friends.